Harry and Meghan really are the laughing stock of the world right now.
I can see it in your eyes. I know why you're happy today. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are going back to England.
Mark,
Oprah Windsor's wig. Apologies, you deserve more professionalism for presenting.
Harry's visa is in real trouble.
they haven't even landed in the UK yet. Well, get your popcorn ready. We're in for a ride.
They have not even touched down in Britain yet, and somehow Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's grand return has already turned into an international comedy special. American audiences are cheering. British presenters are breaking down in laughter. Their Montecito neighbors are reportedly saying good riddance. And now, before the Sussexes have even unpacked a single suitcase, reports claim Australia or Canada could become their next escape route. So what exactly is happening here? Is this a triumphant homecoming? A temporary retreat? Or is the chaos hiding something far more serious inside the Sussex marriage?
This was Harry's idea. He wants to be closer to the family that's not speaking to him.
Before we get into today's story, I wanted to let you know that I finally launched my Patreon. Many of you have been asking for more royal family content, so that's exactly what I'll be posting there. Exclusive investigations, bonus videos, breaking royal news, and members-only discussions that won't be available on YouTube. If you're interested, you'll find the link in the description. Now, let's get into today's story. Because this return was supposed to change everything. Harry would be closer to his father. Meghan would reportedly restart her acting career.
Exclusive. Harry and Meghan on the asylum seeker boat arriving in Dover. Just like the illegal migrants, Harry and Meghan are also uninvited into the UK, yet, just like the illegals, they're now Britain's problem.
Their British chapter would open again after 6 years of complaints, interviews, and royal attacks. But within days, that polished comeback story began to crack. The move became a punchline. The acting story reportedly faltered.
Apologies, you deserve more professionalism for presenting. Yes, Meghan Markle is reportedly being offered a major acting role in Britain as the Sussexes prepare to move home. Could the former suits... Oh, God, this is going to get...
Could the former suit star be swapping California for Albert Square as the Queen Vic's newest barmaid? Mark, bless him, was so determined to get through that without doing what he did in the
Gets
first
me every time. Oprah Windsor's wig.
It actually quite suits her, though, to be fair.
The word permanent disappeared.
Just months after their successful tour down under, Prince Harry and Meghan could be about to call Australia home.
Their spokesperson suddenly spoke only about spending an extended period in Britain this autumn.
Actually, despite the fact a few days ago we said the move was permanent and the children were being enrolled in a school here, indeed, this is probably just going to be for a few months. Because once Harry and Meghan are miserable again, and trust me, that will happen within days, Canada or Australia might be the next place. And isn't this just fascinating? Because what it shows you is that you can't run away from your unhappiness. First they went to Canada, they were unhappy. Then they went to Montecito, they were unhappy. Trust me, Harry, you're going to be just as unhappy back here until you actually deal with the problem, which is that you married the wrong woman.
And the couple who were supposedly moving home began keeping their options open thousands of miles away. Bill Maher opened his show, looked at his delighted audience, and said he knew why they were happy. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were going back to England. The crowd did not merely laugh, they cheered and applauded.
I can see it in your eyes. I know why you're happy today. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are going back to England. I tell you, that ice does around, huh?
Think about that for a moment. A couple who arrived in America presenting themselves as global humanitarians and media power players are now being treated as unwanted house guests whose departure deserves a celebration. Maher then delivered the cruelest line of all. Harry apparently wants to be closer to the family that is not speaking to him. That joke landed because everyone immediately understood the contradiction.
And look, when both sides of the world are mercilessly mocking you, you know you're in big trouble.
Harry spent years telling the world how trapped and unhappy he had been inside royal life. Meghan described the pain of living in Britain. Together, they built an entire American brand around escaping the institution. Then the deals cooled, the glossy projects struggled, and Hollywood enthusiasm appeared to fade. Suddenly, the country they fled became the country they needed. No wonder the audience laughed.
Seriously. The mockery, the stories write themselves. The media, the press, even the satirical press, they are absolutely going at them.
This was not being presented as a brave new beginning. It looked like the world's most expensive U-turn. And Mar was not alone. Don Lemon heard the news and appeared genuinely confused. After the interviews, the accusations, the family drama, and the repeated insistence that leaving Britain had saved them, his message was simple: make up your minds.
You know things are so bad when even sacked CNN host Don Lemon, you know, that the perpetual lefty lunatic who's always on the side of stupid, even he is confused.
What? What is going on here? After all that consternation, all that stuff y'all put us through, the Oprah interview, all that, oh my God, what color is the baby going to be behind the ears? And the royal family, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan and their children are moving back to Britain.
Even someone sympathetic to what Meghan and Harry once claimed to represent could see how ridiculous the reversal looked. 1 minute, Britain was unbearable. The next minute, it was apparently the perfect place to rebuild their future. Privacy was essential until another enormous announcement placed them at the center of the news cycle again. British television made the humiliation even worse. During a discussion of Meghan's rumored acting comeback, one presenter was shown an absurd image of her in a soap opera role and completely lost control. He tried to continue. He apologized. But the laughter kept coming. That moment said more than any serious royal analysis could.
Meghan Markle has given us a sneak peek of what's next. We're very lucky. She's posted this new as ever video to Instagram with the caption, "A little hint of what's coming." Here it is. Well, here we go, Maureen. What a sneak peek. I mean, is she preparing for her life in the Cotswolds? What on earth is that?
Meghan wanted the return to look glamorous, strategic, and professionally exciting. Instead, the mere idea of her British acting comeback became a comedy segment before she had even arrived. The labels followed quickly. The Duke and Duchess of U-turns, the transatlantic turncoats, the couple going back to the very institution they had spent years criticizing.
We've got this migrant crisis going on the south coast. Now they're coming across from America as well. Got these two migrants, Harry and Meghan. Now that really is a crisis.
Satirical headlines imagined Britain reluctantly taking them back after America refused to watch their programs. None of it was subtle, and none of it suggested the Sussex brand was entering Britain from a position of strength. They were not controlling the joke. They were the joke.
Is that chickens you hear? Because the chooks aren't even leaving Montecito either.
And that brings us to the strangest and funniest detail in the entire move: the chickens. Yes, the chickens may tell us more than a dozen carefully worded statements. Meghan made that Montecito chicken coop part of her public identity.
Who's taking care of the chickens? Do you remember, Danica? Okay, this is slightly a deep cut. When they sat down for their interview with Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
And they did all this like cozy, oh, Oprah, why don't you just come and see our chicken coop where our chickens lay fresh eggs? And Meghan had all of her lines rehearsed. And she said to Oprah, you know what, Oprah? I have this chicken coop because I just love saving things. I love saving animals. I love saving princes who didn't know they were trapped in the British royal family. You know, she's delusional.
It appeared during the famous Oprah era and returned in her lifestyle world as proof of an authentic, grounded California existence. Fresh eggs, rescue animals, domestic calm, the whole carefully arranged picture. The coop even carried the family branding. These were not random farm birds hidden behind a fence. They were supporting characters in the Meghan Markle reinvention story.
We might laugh about the chickens, but if Meghan Markle was serious about leaving Montecito, if that is what she really wanted to do, the chickens would be coming with her.
Now reports say the dogs, Mia and Pula, will travel to Britain. The chickens will not. They will remain in Montecito under the care of household staff, along with the home waiting for the Sussexes' return. On one level, that is perfectly practical. Nobody expects Meghan to walk through Heathrow carrying a crate of hens, but symbolically, it is almost too perfect. The dogs are coming for the visit. The chickens are guarding the life she does not appear ready to surrender.
How important is it to own your own story?
It's the most important thing in the world.
Do you feel like you own your own story?
I know I do. And if you know me, you know that I do.
If Meghan genuinely believed Britain was the family's permanent future, why preserve the complete California setup? Why keep the mansion functioning? Why leave staff caring for the animals that became symbols of her supposedly happiest life? The chickens do not prove a marriage crisis. They do, however, puncture the fantasy of a clean break.
In good news, the pair will be keeping their chickens in Montecito, but the dogs will be going back to the UK. That is what's been reported. The chickens will not be coming to Britain. I don't know, Maureen, whatever will we do without the videos of Meghan picking eggs every day? Are there no chicken pens in the Cotswolds for them maybe? I don't know.
Montecito is not being closed. It is being kept warm. The lights are staying on. The coop is occupied, and a very comfortable escape route remains available whenever Meghan decides she has had enough of British weather, British newspapers, or British public opinion.
So Meghan Markle might think she's being clever, right? Like, did you see this as ever ad over the weekend? Something special is on its way. A new chapter to celebrate. Well, look, the only new chapter you're getting close to, Ms. Markle, is full-on divorce.
Then came perhaps the most brutal reaction of all from the place they were supposedly leaving behind. Some Montecito locals were reported to be thrilled by the news, with one reaction summed up in 2 devastating words: good riddance. According to those accounts, residents hoped their departure might restore peace and reduce the media circus surrounding the area.
And we say bye-bye, and it's the headline of them. Everyone in Montecito is so happy to see them go, and these people are rich, honey. They are rich. Okay, not Meghan Markle, selling wickless candles. Bye-bye. Everybody's happy to see them go in Montecito.
Imagine spending years selling Montecito as your beautiful, supportive sanctuary, only for neighbors to react to your departure as though someone had finally removed a permanent roadblock. That makes the situation almost perfectly humiliating. America is laughing because they are leaving, while Britain is hardly preparing a welcome parade.
Montecito's loss is London's loss.
Polling showed only 21% saying they should move back, while 33% said they should not. Another poll found 71% believed the Sussexes should fund their own security. There is no automatic royal roll, no half-in, half-out deal, and not even a guaranteed Christmas invitation. Britain is not rolling out a red carpet. It is checking who will pay the bill.
This question about royal security has been asked and answered many a time. Harry keeps asking, he keeps getting told no, and he's doing the thing that all toddlers do, which is just become a haunt and a nag. Ask, 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 ask until you get your way.
As the mockery intensified, reports even claimed Meghan's proposed role in The Gentleman had been withdrawn following the backlash in Britain. But the most revealing development may not be the jokes or the acting embarrassment. It is the extraordinary shrinking of the return itself. At first, the story sounded enormous. Meghan and Harry were moving back to Britain. 6 years after Megxit, the Sussexes were returning home. It sounded permanent, historic, and decisive. Then the language changed.
Harry and Meghan have decided to spend an extended period in the UK this autumn. So just an extended period over the fall.
Their own representative described it as an extended period in the UK this autumn. Not a permanent relocation, not a final goodbye to California, just an extended period during one season. That is not a small change. It completely alters the meaning of the story. Moving back suggests a new home, a settled plan, and a lasting commitment. Spending autumn somewhere sounds like a trial run.
2 sources close to the Sussex emphasised that they did not expect their return to the UK to be forever. It'll be an extended period of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be more. I don't even think they know yet, one of the sources said, adding that they are an international couple with a home in Portugal as well as a house in Montecito. Interesting. A home in Portugal, a house in Montecito. They might suddenly go, why don't we try Canada for a while? Why don't we try Australia? It's one of the great things about being private individuals that they can live where they choose.
Sources have floated 6 months, a year, or perhaps longer, while also admitting that even Meghan and Harry may not know what comes next. How can a move be presented as a historic family decision when the people making it apparently cannot say whether they will still want it in 6 months? The Montecito mansion is not being abandoned. Their American operations are not being dismantled. California remains ready and waiting. Their Portugal property remains part of the picture as well. This is beginning to look less like a homecoming and more like an international holding pattern.
The Duchess's mother, Doria Ragland, who has supported the family in California and also accused Brits of being racist, remember, plans to travel often to England but is not moving herself. Good.
Britain for now, California still available, Portugal on the side, and perhaps an entirely different continent after that. The Sussexes have not created a clear future. They have collected emergency exits. It is also impossible to ignore Meghan's own words. She recently described Montecito as a supportive, sweet life. She spoke about the community, ordinary family routines, and the freedom to create and dream. She did not sound like a woman desperate to escape California. She sounded deeply attached to it.
And I just think there really is a lot of value to when you anchor into your own knowing, then you're telling your own story. Yeah. You're telling your own story and how you show up in the world, what you do. You actually don't need to say anything.
Anchor into your own knowing. Please, please. We all know what's happening.
So when the public is suddenly told that she is happily returning to the country she once could not wait to leave, skepticism is not cruel. It is common sense. Perhaps Meghan agreed to a temporary British experiment because Harry wanted it. Perhaps she sees a business opportunity. Perhaps the reported acting discussions made the timing attractive. But nothing about her recent praise of Montecito suggested that Britain had suddenly become her emotional home. And the decision to preserve her California world right down to the chickens makes the temporary language surrounding the move look even more important.
But the bigger point is that actually the gentleman role was Meghan's cover. It was just that, a cover story that the mainstream media brought into. Because anyone with a brain knows you don't move your family, you don't change what school your kids are going to because you've got a bit part role in a very limited series where you could move and commute for a matter of weeks.
Then, before this British experiment has even begun, another destination enters the story. Reports now say Meghan and Harry may keep Australia or Canada open as future possibilities after their stint in the United Kingdom. Australia is being discussed because their recent trip there was viewed as successful, and the climate offers an obvious contrast with Britain. Canada is familiar territory from the first chaotic Megxit escape, but the timing is extraordinary.
Harry is keen for Archie to learn to play rugby and cricket, while Harry himself wants to watch more rugby matches upon his return. Again, it's not a reason to overturn years of apparent happiness in the United States because Harry wants to catch a few more rugby games. Who is believing this nonsense?
They have not arrived in Britain, and already the next departure is being discussed. What kind of return begins with an exit strategy? If Britain is truly the answer, why are Australia and Canada already on the list? If Harry wants to rebuild family ties and establish a stable British base, how does moving to the other side of the planet help? And if Meghan is enthusiastic about this new chapter, why does every report seem to include a reminder that the chapter may be extremely short?
There are several factors at play. There is Harry's alleged reported other woman who is American, who is on the west coast of the country, who clearly Meghan would like to create some distance. Reportedly, allegedly, Meghan knows about this other woman having found incriminating texts on Harry's phone. Then there is money. They are out of it. The deals are done. They have dried up. Netflix has said, thank you, but for the time being, we are done. A judge in the UK has just ordered Harry and his co-claimants to make their first payment.
The Australia possibility makes the entire plan look less like strategy and more like restlessness. Britain was unbearable, so they went to Canada. Canada was temporary, so they went to California. California was the promised land until Hollywood cooled and Britain became useful again. Now, before Britain has even had a chance to disappoint them, Australia is waiting in the wings.
At first, they told you they were moving to Canada. Then they decided to move to the United States at the last minute. I'm hearing reports that they are planning on staying in the United Kingdom for, I don't know, maybe a year before they head over to Australia. You know, why should you have to pay for these two people that are totally undisciplined and can't and won't commit to anything?
At what point does a fresh start become a refusal to confront why every previous start went wrong? And what would the sales pitch be this time? Another search for privacy conducted in front of cameras? Another international reinvention announced through carefully placed stories? Another promise that this country, unlike the previous three, finally understands them? Australia may have offered warm weather and a successful public visit, but a pleasant tour is not the same as building a permanent life. Applause at scheduled appearances does not erase the question following them everywhere. If the Sussexes could not make Royal Britain, familiar Canada, or celebrity California feel permanent, why would Australia suddenly solve the problem?
Private Royals Plus. To me, it sounds like a ridiculous streaming service that you upgrade to for an extra $5.99 a month.
There is also a practical contradiction. Harry's strongest emotional argument for returning is proximity to his father, to his heritage, and to the family relationships he says he wants to repair. Australia would destroy that proximity overnight. Meghan's strongest reason for considering Britain was reportedly professional opportunity and a temporary family arrangement. If that opportunity disappears and the British reception remains hostile, what keeps her there? The answer may be very little. And this is where the story takes its darkest turn.
This is the start of a separation, and these glossy old videos aren't pulling the wool over anyone's eyes.
One commentator has insisted from the beginning that this is not a normal family relocation at all, but a trial separation disguised as a move. That claim has not been confirmed. There is no official announcement of a separation, and it would be reckless to state it as fact. But as the details pile up, the theory becomes impossible to ignore, not because of one dramatic leak, but because Harry and Meghan increasingly appear to want completely different lives. Harry's pull is toward Britain. His father is there. His royal identity is there.
Prince Harry increasingly realized that Meghan Markle was playing him. Prince Harry understood that Meghan Markle was even selling the pitch for a post-divorce autobiography.
The charities and institutions that once gave him status are largely rooted there. His American experiment never appeared to give him the independent role he imagined. In Britain, even amid hostility, he is still Prince Harry. He may be estranged, mocked, and kept outside the official circle, but the circle still exists, and he seems desperate to move closer to it before the future changes completely.
A reminder, actually, there was an incident, I think, when Harry came in July, and they were asking something about Meghan to Harry's PR team, and they go, "We don't know. You're going to have to ask her PR team." And it's like, well, they were supposed to do this event together. Why do they have these two separate PR teams that are not actually in coordination with each other? And it's almost like right now, even we're seeing some cross briefing between their competing PR teams.
Meghan's pull appears to be in the opposite direction. Her business is American. Her lifestyle brand is built around California. Her carefully polished image depends on the Montecito dream. She publicly celebrated the life she created there. Britain brings hostile headlines, terrible polling, security battles, royal restrictions, and a family that is not offering her an automatic place at the table. Even Christmas at Sandringham is reportedly not guaranteed. Why would she permanently exchange control in California for uncertainty in Britain? That difference matters more than any staged photograph. Harry may view the move as a return to himself. Meghan may view it as a 6-month obligation. Harry could be imagining reconciliation and permanence.
Last year or earlier this year that they were going to separate professionally. Their brands were going to separate, which at the time I thought that's the precursor to a personal separation.
absolutely. I mean, you can see how they've been increasingly leading separate lives.
Meghan could be counting the days until California or Australia becomes available again. Two people can board the same plane while believing they are traveling toward completely different futures. The language surrounding the move only deepens the suspicion. First, it was a major relocation. Then it became an extended autumn stay. Then sources said 6 months, a year, or perhaps longer. Then Australia and Canada appeared. Meanwhile, Montecito remains intact, the chickens remain home, and Meghan's American life stays protected. That does not look like a couple confidently closing one chapter together. It looks like two competing plans being temporarily forced into the same press release.
Do you remember when the reporting was that the House of Dior would die to have Meghan Markle as their new face?
Yes, yes.
And that hung out there for a couple of days, and the House of Dior said, there's no truth to this. So it seemed to be emanating from Montecito, from the desk of one Meghan, you know? And when I saw this, I thought the same thing.
Even the timing feels like a negotiation rather than a decision. Harry appears to need Britain now, while his father is still king, and some path back into the wider family may remain open. Meghan appears to need guarantees, professional opportunity, personal control, and a clear way back to California. If neither receives what they want, the shared plan collapses. That is not merely a disagreement over an address. It is a conflict over identity, ambition, and which version of their life is supposed to survive. And consider what happens if the British experiment goes badly. Meghan can return to the mansion, the brand, the staff, and the life she never dismantled.
Revealed this morning that Meghan's role had been leaked to make her look as if she was in demand. A typical Sunshine Shacks PR tactic, no doubt driven by Meghan, which has blown up in their face.
Harry can remain closer to his father and continue trying to rebuild a British role. The structure for living separately would already exist without anyone needing to announce a dramatic split. One partner would simply extend the stay, the other would simply go home. A temporary arrangement could quietly become permanent while both sides insisted nothing had changed. Again, that remains a theory, not a confirmed separation, but it explains why the secret split claim has gained attention.
Yet now he needs taxpayer-funded security again, even though it has been denied of him in the past. I mean, why is he such a pampered poodle?
It connects the temporary wording, Meghan's attachment to Montecito, Harry's emotional fixation on Britain, the preserved American home, and the extraordinary talk of yet another country. None of those facts alone proves a marriage collapse. Together, they reveal a couple whose shared destination is becoming increasingly difficult to identify. The greatest humiliation is that this was supposed to look like control. Meghan and Harry wanted the world to see a bold international family choosing Britain on its own terms. Instead, the announcement triggered laughter in America, suspicion in Britain, and questions about whether the couple can even agree on which continent they want to live on.
England welcomes Meghan back with a mandatory burqa. It says, the Duchess of Sussex was welcomed back to England with opened arms and a legally mandated burqa. Meghan Markle, wife of Prince Harry, was reportedly grateful to be back in the UK after suffering years of oppression in the US where people refused to watch her Netflix shows. God, they're funny. But
Their neighbors reportedly celebrated. Their royal access remains restricted. Meghan's acting comeback was thrown into doubt, and their permanent return was reduced to an autumn experiment almost immediately. So perhaps the chickens are the smartest members of the Sussex household. They are staying exactly where they are, safely inside the life Meghan spent years building, while everyone else flies into another storm of headlines. They do not need a security review. They do not need an invitation to Sandringham, and they certainly do not need to decide between Britain, Canada, and Australia. The Sussexes wanted a new chapter. What they created was a cliffhanger. Will Britain become their home or merely another stop?
now, days after the Duke and Duchess of U-Turns announced that they would be going back to the UK, the mockery has spread far and wide.
Will Australia become the next reinvention? Will Meghan return alone to Montecito while Harry stays behind? Or will the couple emerge together and prove every separation rumor wrong? Right now, the only thing that looks certain is the uncertainty, and the world is laughing before the first suitcase has even been opened. What do you think? Is this really a serious return to Britain, or a temporary arrangement designed to hide much deeper problems? Is Australia a genuine possibility or simply the next escape plan after another failed reinvention? And do the chickens staying in Montecito tell us exactly where Meghan believes home still is? Let us know below. And subscribe, because if this is only the beginning of their British comeback, the next U-turn may arrive before they do. If you enjoyed this video and want even more royal family content, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I'm uploading exclusive investigations, bonus content, and members-only videos that won't be released on YouTube. I'll be adding new content regularly. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to everything, the link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.